What's up, guys? We are back with another Star Wars Black Series review, taking a look at a figure from the upcoming Jedi Fallen Order game. We're taking a look at KESTIS today. And yes, this is the figure in the first edition white box, and no, he's not staying in there. I am pulling him out of his white cardboard prison, despite how very clean this thing looks. So he, of course, comes in our standard Black Series packaging, but this is the first edition, so it is the white and red motif instead of the black and red. Same style, just different background color. So you've got him there in the window. We've got the first edition call out on the front, artwork down there in the bottom. He's number 93, and then the back of the package has a little bit of a write-up and then that artwork again. So yeah, let's do it. Let's pull him out and take a look. And here he is out of the package, our KESTIS figure, someone that, frankly, I know absolutely nothing about, except for the fact that he is the main character in a game I pre-ordered 6 months ago, but will likely not play for a very long time. And he's a Jedi or a Padawan, and he has a lightsaber, and yeah, it's a new figure. So here we are. We're going to take a look at this guy, see what he can do. He seems like he's pretty standard as far as Black Series goes, but he does have a few new modern changes for the line. So to start with, you've got a head and moving neck again. So it doesn't do a great deal because he has this collar around his neck, but it does allow for some added movement. So you can look up a little bit. He looks down just enough. You can kind of get him over the lip of that collar and then rotate. And then, of course, the neck is moving around to help facilitate that. The arms go out at the shoulder, they rotate. You do have butterfly joints and they work okay. These, basically the front of this tunic does kind of get in the way, so he has a hard time crossing over his chest. If that wasn't there, it would work a lot better. No bicep swivel, single rotating elbow, but you do get better than 90 degrees, although just slightly. You've got rotating and hinging wrists. He's got a lateral hinge on the left hand, and Hasbro's been going crazy with this lately. You've got a vertical hinge on the right. We've got a diaphragm cut here, so he goes all the way around, of course. Legs go out pretty far, and then they kick forward all the way. You've got a little on the back, but not much. Thigh cut, of course. Double jointed knees. And then you've got your rocker, and you've got your hinge down at the ankle. So he's pretty standard, but he does incorporate some of that newer articulation that we've been seeing. My only real drawback on this guy is that I wish, they could have facilitated the butterfly joint a little better, because it does move, but the tunic just gets in the way. Now, as far as the overall look and feel here, well, I don't really have much frame of reference for this guy, obviously, because, well, he's in a thing that hasn't come out yet. But I definitely get a Star Wars vibe when it comes to this figure. Of course, I have zero attachment to him, but he definitely looks like a Star Wars thing. There's some very quintessential Star Wars-y stuff that's going on here. So he's got that kind of asymmetrical design going on with the sleeve up, sleeve down thing. He's got a leathery-ish painted glove over here with like a communicator on it. He's got the canisters on his shoulder, a very Star Wars thing. This kind of undershirt that he wears really gives me a Star Wars vibe, especially with the color of this belt and then the quilted texture of the tunic piece. Despite the fact that it gets in the way, it definitely looks like it belongs in the Star Wars universe. A lot of what he's wearing, has a lot of Star Wars vibes to it, which definitely works just to kind of suck me into the character without really knowing anything about him. He does have a whole mess of stuff all over him, though. He's got a belt with a bunch of doodads and pouches all over him, so varying textures, varying styles of, things. So canisters, some clips, some pouches, some sort of tool over here, and all of it has its own kind of paint scheme. So you've got gunmetals, browns, beiges, silvers, tans, just a bunch of muddled type of colors, because I'm assuming he's supposed to be on the run, because this takes place after episode 3, so he should be very much fighting for his life. You've got some really dirtied up pants down here with a decent amount of wash, some dry brushing on the thighs to make it look like he's kind of been in the muck and the grime. So, there may not be a whole lot that's kind of flashy about this character, but I'm not so sure that's really the point of this guy. He definitely should be fighting for his life after Order 66, kind of on the run, so he's kind of, dumbed down, maybe just looks like a normal dude. But there's a lot of stuff here that gives me a Star Wars vibe, and there's really nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with him as a figure. I think this guy might be our peg warmer for a while, because he's not as exciting of a character compared to even, like the second sister. We don't really know anything about her yet. Well, not much anyway. And she has a much cooler design, so this guy just might suffer for a while until folks get to know who he is. And of course, talking about getting to know who he is, we've got to talk about the head sculpt. And it's another instance of, well, I don't know anything about it. I don't know why he looks this way or anything like that, but it's a pretty nice head sculpt. It, of course, uses photoreal, and it comes across very much like what I've seen in the trailer. It, again, is a character that I don't have any attachment to, but it's done really well. I think the sculpt is good. Paint is really clean and crisp. Everything just looks the way it should, I think. Hair's pretty nicely sculpted. I wish it had a little bit of a wash in there, but otherwise, the colors look good, sculpt looks good. Everything's pretty straight, clean, forward-facing. You can't ask for too much more, except for maybe a character that you know something about. Now, where this guy really, really draws me in is in his accessories, because he has a couple things, and I just like what he comes with. So to start with, he does have a lightsaber. He's a Padawan, so of course he has a lightsaber, and I absolutely love the design of this hilt. It's massive, for one, so, you know, it almost looks like it has been cut in half. There is very much some sort of muddled, kind of broken design going on down here. So again, I don't know a lot about this game. I haven't really paid much attention to it. I've been kind of blissfully unaware about what's going on. But this very much looks like a double-bladed lightsaber that's been cut in half to me, just based on the fact that the hilt is really long, and this end down here definitely looks broken to me. But it's a cool look. I think it really works for this guy. Again, it kind of gives you the idea that he's doing whatever he can to survive, and he somehow got a hold of this, or it was his double-bladed lightsaber that broke in half, or it was cut in half by an Inquisitor or something. And then he's got, of course, a blue blade, so you've got a translucent blue blade there, which works really well. Blue, I would rather have had green if I had a choice, you know, just to give my own 2 cents. I always prefer green lightsabers personally. But this looks really cool for him, and it clashes well with his clothing. So you've got his weapon, but you've also got a little droid companion, which makes for the second one that we actually get in this wave. So this is BD1, and I do think I actually have a problem with this one, but it's not a big thing. So I think that when he was put together, this leg was actually kind of messed up, or this foot, because it doesn't sit very well, and it honestly looks kind of janky. But it's a pretty cool little guy. I mean, this is definitely a unique little fellow. He has some articulation, so you can swivel at the what would be his waist, I suppose, because these are ball joints, and you can kind of go in and out, and then they swivel, and he's got hinged knees there, but he's also got a jointed head, so you can rotate around. And he looks pretty cool. There's a lot of paint on him. Definitely a little unique design, a little bipedal droid. So this is just a little cool companion character, I'm sure, in the game for Cal Kestis. But it's nice to get this guy in plastic form. It's another little unique droid that you can throw on your shelf. And he does stand up pretty well. Of course, I do think that the foot on mine is kind of weird, but I can still get him to stand just fine. And, I mean, yeah, he's a cute little guy. Can't go wrong there. So kind of a little two-piece set that you've got. And I'm not really in the mood to complain about this little guy. I think he works well. Again, I don't know anything about him, but I'm always up for a little droid. So overall, this is a pretty fun figure. Again, it all comes down to whether you really care enough about this guy to want to get him. If you're a completionist, then you probably will go ahead and get him no matter what. But I don't know anything about this guy, and I wasn't going to buy this figure, but then I had him in hand, and I just couldn't resist. I wanted to check him out, and I think he works really well as a figure. He has a pretty Star Wars-y vibe. Everything about him looks like he belongs in universe, and he has a really awesome lightsaber. I like the little droid companion that he comes with, and it's just a solid figure. Again, your mileage may vary on whether you want to care about this character or not, but as far as a toy goes, there's not a really lot to complain about here. So that's going to do it for this look at the Star Wars The Black Series Cal Kestis figure. Let me know what you guys think. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and until next time.